Good afternoon. My name is Alexis Canfield, and I'm a resource advocate at STAR, which is the Sexual Trauma Awareness and Response Center. And thank y'all for listening for today. I know it's been a long one. I'm here to talk about my deep concern for Senate Bill 156. This bill prevents trans students from participating on sports teams that match their gender. And I know from what we've had spoken today that there's many people in this room, myself included, who grew up on sports teams, who've been impacted by sports. We're in Louisiana. We can't go a day without hearing about sports. And I know that these teams that I played on offered me the chance to grow as a teammate, a leader, and have an outlet outside of school hours. This morning and afternoon before this bill was presented, we listened to so many bills seeking to empower and provide for our students. We talked about making progress, even in Louisiana, someone commented. And this bill is seeking to do the opposite. If passed, it would deny trans girls and women, and also, as was just said, trans boys and trans men by default, and tell them their gender is not valid and they do not belong in sports. This would then translate to telling them they do not belong in school and they do not belong in this state. I want to be clear that trans women and trans girls are girls and are women. And women's rights and the protection of women's rights includes protecting trans women and trans girls. We have discussed Louisiana moving forward, and I want us to continue to do so. I ask that you oppose this bill or defer and stand up for trans students. This bill is not about safety, and it's not about size of players. We can look at different sports teams, and again, this is from K through collegiate, and see that there are different sizes in the students that are playing, and that they does not determine their strength and ability. Students want to have fun. They want to play. They want to be with their friends and have a social outlet. I worked in a middle school, and the sixth graders that I worked with just wanted to get through the day so that they could play basketball and could play volleyball. In my personal time for the last 5 years, I have played a full contact sport and have multiple trans individuals that I have both played against and that have been on my team. I'm a cisgender woman. I'm 5'4" and 130 pounds, and I have won against them many times. I have also been in a role in coaching children in this sport, many of whom identify as trans and non-binary. Our juniors have identified that training spaces such as these are the only space they've ever felt safe. They've talked about where they have felt the strongest in our coaching sessions, and that they aren't safe in their schools and in their homes, but that they can come to our coaching practices and feel okay. We also have cisgender girls who are also on that team. Their presence has only added to our team, and I am so glad that they are there. This bill is about telling students they do not belong. These are students who have been told all their lives that they are wrong and do not exist. And in schools, we need to protect our vulnerable students even more and help elevate them to their fullest potential. Trans students, especially trans girls, are more likely than their cis counterparts to commit suicide, be assaulted, physically harmed, bullied, sexually assaulted, removed from their home, and become homeless. I additionally think this bill is founded on a lot of misunderstanding, as has previously been stated. We've had a lot of conversations today about terminology and hormones and what really makes a person athletically. And so I am scared about a decision being made that could be looked into more. And I urge thinking about deferring so that more information could be found. But ultimately, as was stated previously, this is about children. This is about well-being of students, and school needs to be a safe place for them to explore and be kids. This bill, if passed, will cause emotional damage, and it will harm students and their peers. It will be another piece of Louisiana history that is looked down upon in the future. And I urge you to think about the consequences and how you would want your children and friends' children to be treated when deciding on this bill. Thank you.